Crazy House World Championship match. Loser goes home, winner stays to fight another round. Let me check. It's got to be round 6, I think. And well, Alduto and also Bunny, interesting players. I expect some preparation from both sides. Alduto in general very strong in theoretical lines, and Bunny is always coming with something that's interesting, and seems to like the French defense a lot. So I expect to see a lot of 1e6. She sometimes even plays it with an early c5. So takes happens. You could take here, go for a quick attack, yeah. But this looks interesting. You take with the queen and you have pawn h6, and takes, you have knight f6. That's the basic plan. So pawn h6 you cannot take, and then white can create an attack on g7 with more pawns to come. So queen takes pawn h6. It's already hard to figure out a move. Maybe bishop e7, but yeah, then f6 is still weak. Okay, knight e6 played, and gonna give up the queen. I'm not too sure on this, because sometimes you can give up the queen and then it also means you're safe, but here you can see bishop h6, pawn f6. The black king is still very insecure, and the white king is still very secure, so the white king is not in trouble. And here a move like bishop h6 is already very disruptive. If rook g8, knight f6, not really believing this. Knight f6, bishop takes f3, knight takes g8, and you threaten mate, so probably the rook has to be moved. Something like this. But yeah, knight f6 seems almost game over. Hey, you so rude. Feels bad for black, yeah. You are right. Such a simple sequence, right? Bishop takes f5 and sacrifice a knight, and so dealing with this move is very hard. Okay, not going knight f6, just taking the bishop to put the bishop on f6. With enormous pressure on this knight. And possibly also knight g5 can be played when needed. Going for takes and queen f8. And now bishop f6, so this is not even a move, because you just take the rook. For now you have to cover mate, of course. And I think Alduto has figured I can take, or I can play pawn h6, yeah. There's no way this can be guarded, there are no pieces left. Knight takes f6, h takes mate. Okay, very quick win there. Let's see how we go in the second game. Alduto going for a quick trade of the bishop with knight b4. It's usually a very annoying piece to I at h7, and then sometimes in these structures a knight comes to h5, and then these two pieces are restricted defending. So that's why you want to trade the bishop. But the downside is that the knight moved a lot of times, and you can see that the push of d5 maybe you cannot really play bishop at g6 because pawn f5 just comes, I've thought. And the rook is already on e1, so there's the pin. So bishop takes f5, just queen takes f5, and white is doing very well. And judging by by Variant Bunny's comment and by her time use, this is preparation. And on the other hand, judging by Alduto's time use, he is not familiar with this position and probably feels like he's in trouble here. And I think I tend to agree. Yeah, knight takes d4, just giving up the piece, but take, knight takes f7 looks dangerous. We'll have to see what he has planned here. Knight takes d4 may have just been, well, I'll try this, and next game I won't go back into this. Because knight takes f7, if you take, there's knight e5, and yeah, that can not go well. And if you don't take, well, this is hanging, as well as queen g6 to set up the discovery. I have a hard time believing black can get out of this. Maybe bishop d6 is worth a try. Also not really a threat because the king can just go to f1. So probably something went wrong earlier. I guess here already bishop g6, Mockward suggesting avoid rook e1. Maybe if Alduto can find that, he well, what you should do, user root, is go to Opening Explorer and then make sure you go set the rating to only top games and use the engine and toggle the engine on as well. I think that will give you something. Yeah, he was looking for queen takes g2, I guess. Now just take the rook. Knight's hanging. Yeah, looks very good, and probably most likely this is mate. Yeah, if you click on the little book when you're in Opening Explorer, you can set the ratings. Yeah, no worries. I hope you find what you're looking for. Mate 1. No blockaders left. Not that easy to see, as just witnessed. But 1-0. And some preparation for Bunny. Alduto missing an earlier bishop at g6 to not give yeah, queen g4 I thought here. It's usually sound against these lines, but I don't know about this. But you want to go queen g4 most of the times in against an early bishop b4. But okay. Alduto got a pawn. c5 can be taken back, so it's not like he's up one, but temporarily. And he's trying to use it early. Takes bishop b5 maybe to try to get a knight for f6 or d6. And now surely just bishop g5 seems okay. And queen a5, a little bit risky maybe, but then again I don't see a better square. Queen c7 maybe to take e5. But queen c7, bishop f6, rook g8, and bishop here or bishop d3 looks perfectly fine. You can give up this as long as you can get this knight in return. You have a very nice attacking chances. As soon as this knight falls, then d5 becomes weak later as the queen is moved. So the queen stays on d5, pawn e7 is played. Yeah, and now I probably would play bishop d3 to take this and knight g7. So black should most likely respond with rook g8 to deal with knight g7. But then it still takes, and pawn d6 is a bit awkward. I think leaving this pawn there can maybe mean trouble down the road. Ooh, inviting queen sacrifice with takes. Knight g7, king here, knight takes e6, very dangerous. But maybe it's possible. If the queen moves, then black has what she wants, just takes the bishop and maybe put the bishop here, play rook g8. Queen a5 is still a move, c7. Yeah, I think she's gonna take the bishop now. I was really scared of bishop takes f5 is how if I was black, so want to get rid of that bishop sooner rather than later. Maybe, yeah, something at d6. I was looking at knight at d6, but something at d6. This is pinned. Yeah, now of course you take on e7 and go after f6. Bishop takes, pawn at f6. Forking the pieces. That has got to be good. And note again that the white king is very safe. The queen is guarding the squares, like knight c2 or whatever. No easy pawn entries. So Alduto can give up this piece. He already has a bunch of pawns in return and just harass these squares. Knight h5 maybe. Just very nice. You take and you repeat, or you take and you repeat. It's dealer's choice. It's just very strong. Knight f6 was made in 4, right? Ah, yeah. Knight h6, king forced to g7. Yeah, nice find by My word. Alduto not getting the mate there, but still he's doing very well. That was I was saying before with the white king being so safe. You could even go bishop g7 here, I think. Just go after the rook, and if the knight takes, well, then it's game over. Free rook. There's just no counterplay at all. Or just go for knight at f6. You should try to find those maiden fours, but in a case like this, it doesn't matter since white is just completely fine. If there was counterplay, then you might lose that game, then you will kick yourself that you didn't find the easy mate. But now, finally, the queen is lured away at knight takes f6. Wins the game. So far, all white wins. Let's see if we're gonna go back to knight b4 and see if takes and bishop g6. No. Okay. Maybe only now realizing. Yeah, knight c6, it doesn't do anything, so it develops the piece, but that's about it. So okay, bishop g4. Wants to take, ideal scenario. Just, oh, if takes, maybe he's planning queen sacrifices. Knight takes, queen here, takes, knight e5, king e7, bishop at c5. Picks up the knight, but pawn d6 picks up the knight again. I don't know. Knight h3 for black will be a move. And if you don't sacrifice the queen, then black's just a pawn up and he has the initiative. So, yeah, you gotta do it. Don't think there's any added points to this. This is main 1. This loses to bishop g5, or bishop at g5, I should say. So king e7, yeah, it's gotta be. And now maybe something weird. Like this, and the file opens. I don't know. I don't think it's enough, but it might be. After this takes knight h3 is a problem. Take knight f3 and everything goes down. Yeah, knight c6. Where to go? King here loses. King here. I pawn g5, I guess. and knight takes seems okay for white. King d7, take the queen, but knight h3. Yeah. I think in every case white has to take the knight. So that knight h3, there's no knight f3. And then threaten pawn e6. Yeah, quickly played, good call. Maybe here there's this, if pawn e6 you go king e7. I dropped knight f5, never mind. I want to create somehow squares for the king, so maybe c6 then, to go to king c7. If that's safe. Let's say black makes random move, then pawn e6, king here, pawn here, king here, bishop g5, and knight f5 is made. Other routes are possible, but all will end in that mate. So instead he shoots, yeah, c6 I like. It took him a while though, so now he's gonna be in time trouble. Here he could have played queen h4, pawn e6, king c7, looked okay. But alright, king c7 now, and nice pawn block. Knight at h3, interesting. This is check though, with knight f7 next. So I guess takes is okay. Yeah. Takes, rook takes, and he says my king is fine. Nice move, trying to open up e6. Hey Bash, 5 head indeed. Thanks for the sub. I'll see you tomorrow. I think Bunny is winning. The time trouble got to Alduto. Yeah, this is gonna be mate. Bishop a5 or bishop c7, queen a5, but still enough time. 48 seconds and mate in one coming next. Yeah, there we go. And e4 again. Let's see if Bunny changes openings. Oh, and queen h5 versus an early bishop e7. Gotta go g6. And yeah, this can be troublesome because variantbunny was not expecting this. How to deal with this? I think so far she did okay. Bishop can return. Can also play knight at h6 here to stop bishop g4, to stop this. Queen h3 is coming. If you take this, queen h3, pawn e6 even. And now takes, looks very strong. Takes, knight g5. King f7. Takes the queen instead. Should also work. Pawn at b7 now, yeah. Force away the bishop so you can take the bishop. Yeah, this is Alduto's game to lose. I don't see that happening. Queen e8, smothered mate. Yep, he spots it. Good spot. Okay, again, knight c6. Again, rook e1. Allowed, sort of. Let's see if Alduto found bishop takes f3 interesting enough to go again. Why doesn't he play a different opening? Very good question. I think Alduto is keen on playing 1d5 and knows a lot in that line and feels secure enough to keep going there again, because he also knows enough about the structures. But yeah, as I was pointing out earlier, there's this problem on h7 was there with the bishop, and now it's also there with the queen. And yeah, you can try to interpose, but then boom, a new queen comes. So how do you do this? I think there was something went wrong at h6. Yeah, I really like Margaret's suggestion. Just play bishop g6 here. Because this is all wrong. Queen h7, knight f6. Take rook h8. Sorry. And king d7. Maybe just take. Yeah, I felt like king d7 is the only move. You cannot really cover this knight otherwise. But with these only moves, Alduto is taking a little bit too long, I feel. I think he should play those a little bit quicker. As we saw last black game, he had decent chances to defend, I think, but he needed a new defending cycle. And then he only had 10 seconds left, and it was hard to find strong moves then. But yeah, he's 3-2 up. He's still in a good position. But in this particular game, I think Bunny has done a good job creating chances. Rook h3, just to save the rook. And how to attack the king there. d5, okay. But what if just repeats? Pawn e6 again. Knight takes, gives a new square for the king. Don't know if I like d5. Would have loved probably to see bishop at b5 and take state and then do something with the knights there. Interesting move could be to play bishop h8 here. Because where does the queen go? Oh, okay, bishop h6 happens. Bishop h8 would have prevented this. But just takes and develop, it seems okay. Take, develop, rook d1. Can be played. Knight at f8 if you want some moment. Bishop at f8. Pawn at h7. Giving up the queen. Don't know about that, but alright. Rook g6 probably. Knight h4, okay. Going here. I think queen a4 is nice defensively here. Yeah. This is covered, but knight c6 is still sort of forced if you want to save the knight. I guess not. No knight e5 now. At least defense. But where does the king go? Yeah, I like this decision. Just take the pieces. I think it's wise that the queen covers the knight, so you should move somewhere here. Cover. This is scary. This might also be fine. Queen here looks very good. Because pawn here, and then you take the queen again. Or you go rook d8 and take the queen now. With check. I played a little bit too quickly here. But yeah, I guess you're safe. But I don't love these decisions. Yeah, you can take queen e7 and bishop d8. Should be good, but maybe bishop d7 wasn't possible. Or was it? Maybe it was. Doesn't matter, white should have won this game already. But is trying to throw it away. No, made in one. Okay. 3-0. Only white wins so far. Let's see if Bunny can break the first. Hey Upper, yeah, quite strong performance indeed. Okay, Bunny switched the opening up. And bishop h4. Sometimes you play knight e4 first. Hey Freddy, thanks for following. Hey, and a raid, wow. Thank you very much, Chespia. Welcome guys. Let me give you a shout out. If you are new, just tuning in, we are giving commentary on Crazy House, which is a chess variant on Lichess, amongst other websites. And the basic idea is that you can drop pieces that you took earlier. And we have this World Championship organized, an unofficial World Championship, not recognized by FIDE just yet. And these matches are going on. We try to commentate and give some insights to viewers who are trying to learn the game. So thanks very much for the raid. I hope you had a nice stream. And welcome to Crazy House, guys. Don't be afraid to ask questions why things are happening. I'll be happy to try to give an answer. Hey Chesby, thank you very much again. Appreciate it. Hope you had a lovely stream. So here, what's happening? variantbunny is trying to develop the pieces and trying to deal with this pressure on f6, but Alduto is constantly putting new pieces there, and maybe he goes here now with the pawn on h6. No, he's decided to take. Whereas black also has some threats here to take, and maybe queen can come to d4. So in a few seconds it can break open this position. It's very sharp. I like this move. It's a safe move. You close off this rook here, and if takes takes, then you have a nice attack on the queen with two bishops. But I wonder what happens after this. Queen takes. Probably bishop at c3 is fine. Aren't Crazy House rules too liberal? Well, you could argue that, but I've played also games where you can only drop on the 6th rank and not on the 7th. So that makes pawns a little less dangerous. What do you mean, Upper Black has just won? He's winning, you mean? But yeah, you can make the rules, of course. You can twitch them and try that out. You can also play this variant where you cannot drop the pieces with check or mate, but you can drop them. It is a lot of possibilities. I think black is solving. Yeah, Freddy, indeed. You can, let's say white had a queen now. White can drop the queen here, and then it's checkmate. So you can drop with check, you can drop with mate. You can drop pawns up until the opponent's 7th rank. So white can drop here, and black can drop here. And so and knights and pieces can even be dropped on the opponent's back rank. So you can imagine that it can get sharp very quickly. I wonder here if you can play bishop at c3. I think you can. Pawn at d2, and then queen takes e3. Might be good. But bishop at c3 must be good, and if bishop at c3 isn't good, then bishop at b4 is good, because it covers this square. Okay, I guess it's possible. Ooh, not queen d8. I thought queen d8 was checkmating. Are there openings in Crazy House? Yeah, there are some lines that are developed, but just like in chess, e4, d4 are most popular and are played both. The problem with Crazy House is that you just have to be a little bit more secure in the opening about your weak squares, which are usually f7 and c7 and f2 and c2. So that's why, like, for example, this bishop drop covers this pawn and gives the weak square f2 some extra. And whereas this bishop is covering the c7 square, so both players are trying to guard the squares around their king. But I think white is doing a very good job here of mopping up the pieces. Black is trying to find something, but time trouble seems to be too much. Yeah, now there we go, and mate will follow shortly. Not the most precise way, but I think he'll get there. Ooh, pawn here missed. This is some sloppy checkmating. Rook c8. Pawn here was very strong with this pawn coming. Now it's covered somewhat, but might still be worth it, yeah. Knight c8. It's still, you can still do this. Bishop here. But there must be some other mate. King here. Okay, no. Queen b8. Alduto takes it, but these games sometimes take longer than they should. If you're interested, Freddy, here's some nice studies on how to some openings as well, some tips on how to play the opening. Okay, and we go back to this. We have seen this in every black game by Alduto, and every game so far he lost. Hey, said Krakenmeister, yeah, that's it. It had been suggested already to play this at longer time control. Some people will agree with you, and some people will say 3+2 is fine. Maybe 5+5 should be implemented. Give checks and hope for the best. Exactly. Okay, pawn at h6. And you can see this, allowing this rook e1, for those who were just joining, we discussed to go bishop at g6 here, to go cover, attack the queen. But after rook e1, then the pawn can come to f5, and you can see that this is not happening because of the pin. And every time black has not done this, he is in some sort of trouble down the file. Interesting choice here, offering the queen trade. Takes maybe. This will be very sharp if this is correct. Rook g8. I don't know. Bishop f1 seems to be the safe choice. Ooh, can you do this? Is he gonna go queen takes? I think you should have tried to avoid the queen trade now if you are white. Queen takes, bishop at h3, takes g7. It's always the move, takes g7 it seems. But I don't know, rook g8 is just enough defense I think in a lot of lines. Even queen takes now. Could be good. Takes the rook, bishop f8. And the king just goes to d8. And so many threats on the white king. Knight f3 and the king has to come up, and then the queen drops on h3 since you just took the queen there. Yeah, Alduto, of course as commentator I can just say, yeah, you should take the queen, it's all good. But Alduto calculated and figured, yeah, I can go for this. Bishop f8. And, well, I was saying knight f3, but even just queen at h1 is the main threat. So queen takes, maybe. Legion Destroyer is also suggesting. Because if you take like this, then knight here, king here, rook mate on e8, and if knight here, rook here, then you take the queen with check, and then you will have enough pieces to mate. So king takes is forced. If you go here, then bishop at e8 comes, and the king is chased around. So king takes. And then maybe something like pawn at g7. Yeah, going for it. All you gotta do is make the king go here so he can take the queen with check. Problem is that if you go here, rook e8, I guess, is the move. Rook e8, rook f8. It's not needed to do this, but maybe it's possible. Because he wants to go bishop f6 or something to force the king here or here. Yeah, now the king there. The queen gets taken with check. Oh no, she doesn't take the queen with check. I'm not playing myself, but thanks. Yagya. Oh, king to e6. Yeah, the queen. This was the chance. Rook takes e5. Knight at d4, desperation. Out of time. Too bad. I think Alduto breaks the deadlock. And goes back with white, and only one with white so far. So, well, we can of course believe in variant bunny. We should believe, because then the match gets prolonged. But it looks tough. Using the pawn to block this. But now you can see behind the pawn some gaps are coming that Alduto might want to exploit. And he goes c4, because if you make another move, then black probably plays knight at f4 and to try to get the position going. So now the knight is going back to b6, and white can probably play queen e2 here, pinning and trying to win the pawn. But Alduto had some success with at g5. This not this exact moment, but this move before, so it's understandable that he goes back to it, and it's not a bad move at all, I'd say. Ooh, take, repeat. A draw is enough for Alduto to win the match here. For those who are not aware, it's a 10-game match, and so you need 5.5 points. Then you have 5.5 out of 10. So take stakes and repeat, and then variantbunny has to find another move. But Alduto plays on already. Okay, c4 comes. Knight b4, I assume. Where else? Take stakes and queen a4, maybe. I guess not. Queen a4, just knight at c6, and this bishop hangs. He's going after f6 again. But black has some play after bishop at e4 here. So, doesn't look too bad. Sometimes you also can go knight e5 here. See, you have the pin created. But he goes for this. Because I want to take the rook. But maybe he goes there next. And it's still possible in this... rook f8 now will win the queen. And then with the queen and the pawn, it's not immediately mate, I'd say, but promising still. Maybe start here with knight e5. Castles at some moment. You want to give yourself this as an option. I think bishop at c3 I would play here. Okay, so he goes defensive first, but what about just nudging the king to f1 to disallow castle? Because if blockades, then you take, and then knight takes d3, and the attack is a little bit less menacing. Bishop d2, pawn here, c3, pawn at d2, knight takes, and bishop takes d4, maybe. Could have been something. To just get some pieces of the board. But okay, rook g7 seems safe with the knight covering these squares. I think in the long run the pieces will be better than the queen here, but variantbunny needs some precise play. Maybe bishop at h5 now. I don't know. I think Alduto will not dislike this, because then he can go pawn at f6 at some moment. Okay, he's just gonna go back. And I wonder if he's gonna allow this. Yeah. Knight h5 comes, pawn at f6 comes, and see some way in. So I think you don't take this, but you go bishop e4, for example. Take, bishop h8, rook g5. It's still tricky. Or just cover the rook. Also possible. Even allow takes. There's no knight h5. But yeah, this is a move. Takes, I think, is good. There were some tricks coming with knight f8. Queen takes, knight f8, and mate. But now the queen is there, nicely defending. But this bishop, though, doing a very good job. Pawn h3. Bishop e4, same idea. Pawn h3 now then. I think black is coming back into this. I don't see Alduto surviving this. Bishop takes is fine. And king can, well, the king can take everything. King can move back. King is completely safe on g8. Yeah, I think the king has to do a bit of running here, but c5 is needed. And then rook c1. Bishop takes, I think. You should do these things before you sacrifice the queen. Because now the queen drop can hurt you somewhere. There, for example. Alduto in a good position now. Bishop at d6 and mate. Oi oi oi. That was a chance for Bunny. But doesn't convert one position and loses the game. Very sad. Because she had good chances there. But didn't manage to go all the way through. So Alduto will face my last opponent, who is not Jan Lee. He's actually, that's his handle. That will be another strong player that Alduto has to face. And the winner of that will play for Splits Bullet, so strong stuff going on. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the commentary. I'll have to work in a bit, so I'm gonna leave it here. And maybe I'll be back later tonight, and otherwise, I'll see you later in the week. Have a good one, and stay safe out there. Bye bye.